Alright, we are just going to tie a very simple raghead crab today. I'm filling a box here for a trip to Mexico. And this is going to be pretty much on every lodge's fly list. Anywhere you go, from the Yucatan to Belize and the Caribbean probably too. Cool. So starting with a Mustad S71, you can start with any good saltwater streamer hook. In the vise here, this isn't a 4. I'm just going to start laying down some. This is Veevus Power Thread 140, but again, details aren't terribly important on this fly. And the way I'm going to tie is a simple way. I'm not going to use wool or Mcflyfoam. I'm going to use Furry foam and just sandwich the legs in there. It's a little bit easier and a lot less messy than doing it with the wool. But cool, so we're just going to lay down a thread base there. Nothing crazy going on. Let me make sure we're focused as good as we can be here. Play with my light a little bit. There we go, let's try that. Looks a little better. Alright, so laid down a thread base, and I built that up, and anytime you're trying to get a fly to keel, it helps to build it a little off the shank to get the weight away from the shank. So these are medium dumbbells. It's on a 4, so it's going to sink pretty quick. So I'm going to do some wraps here. Sorry for the terrible sound these Veevus spools make. I don't know why they do it, but all their spools do it. It sounds terrible. Alright, just going to really secure this. And just check it, make sure you like it before you move back. I'm going to coat these with nail polish, these lead eyes. Lodges in Ascension Bay all want you to have these yellow eyes on your shrimp and crabs. Which I'm sure, has something to it. I've been doing it for a long time, I believe, and they catch a lot of permit, so I'm sure it can't hurt. Alright, I'm going to clean this eye off a little bit here. Just run a scrap piece of feather through it here. Alright. I'm going to work my way back here to the bend. We're going to just make a nice thread base, because when we sandwich everything in between this furry foam, we don't want it to be super skinny. I like them to have a little bit of 3D to them. So I'm just going to start by putting a couple layers on here. Nothing crazy. Alright, so generally, you're going to have some Marabou or some wispy, flowy material here. What I like to do is take, this is just a hen saddle in tan, and I'm just going to take one of the bigger feathers off. Like, here's one laying, and I'm going to grab some of this, plumy, Marabou-y, fuzzy stuff. I really like it. I think it's, nice and buggy. So I'm just going to pinch it like that and grab a tuft here. I'm just going to pop it off. And this is going to kind of serve as my replacement for Marabou. The Marabou, I don't like how straight the tips are. You could use chickaboo or something like that here, and I'm just going to grab a little more. This is even a little wispy. And a lot of times this stuff is nice and two-toned, and I'll just kind of vary the lengths in here. I don't want it to be super perfect. I want it to kind of be buggy. This is a cool part where you can kind of, if you wanted to, mix in some other colors and whatnot. So I'm just going to grab one little more tuft. I'm going to get a new feather. It's too short. Oh, this one's actually broken off. That'll be perfect. If you get a good one like this one, those almost look like ostrich herl. Just pinch wrapping and securing those on. Alright, perfect. Now, the other thing I like to do to make this a little buggy is, this is just a deceiver pack, bleached grizzly. Just going to take a feather that I'm not going to use for a crab claw or anything, because it's too big. like this one. I'm just going to find what length I like. I'm going to add some like bugginess to this. Saw a guy doing this on Instagram and I really liked it. I don't know if this is from the original like Dale Brown's Merkin pattern. I'm not sure. But all I'm going to do is try to pull these back and get my first wrap started in here. I'm just going to, you don't need to go crazy with this. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to tie this third one off. If you want to, you can kind of get in there, make sure all those feathers are not caught and trapped. Like that. I'm just going to come over the wrap and pull everything back before I trim it here and go 1, 2 in front, and then I'll trim that feather out. Perfect. Now, if I can find on my super messy desk, I'm not prepared to make this video. It's kind of a last minute whim thing here. I'm looking for my comb. Here it is. You can just come in here and brush some of these out to make sure they're not trapped. So it's going to give you a little extra bugginess. Maybe make your fly slightly different from the 800 of these that the permit down there are going to see this season. So I'm just going to trim out the bottom. And now's where we're actually going to tie in our hackle claws. Just going to clean this up a little bit. And I'm going to use just some grizzly claws here. Off of half. This is a these are a touch big, but that's okay. We gotta use as many as we can. These are just off a Hareline half saddle. So just the way I like to, obviously we've all tried to tie these in a bunch and they give us fits rolling around, but I just like to catch them with the barb still on there. I haven't trimmed anything, and that I think helps keep them from rolling. Those extra fibers will help support them. So then I'm just going to spin this around, measure them up, do the other side. Again, these are a pinch bigger than what I'd prefer them to be. I'm just going to grab them with a few loose wraps. And this is the one that always wants to roll. So those look pretty good. I got them angled up. I'm going to work my way back here, and I'm getting tighter, and I'm really securing these before I trim them. But those first few wraps are really loose to keep everything from rolling around. Oh, this one rolled anyway. Alright, let's see if we can fix this as we tie back. So I'm going to hold these exactly where I want them. I'm going to tie this in tighter, and I'm just going to get a bunch of thread out, almost like you're building a cone on a reverse tie. I'm just really lightly over those, nothing crazy. Then I'll start to get tight as I work my way back here. Yeah, those look pretty good. This one's a little tilted, as you can see from this view. It's just slightly off, but I'm not super worried about it. Alright, so just going to build a little ramp here back to my eyeballs. Kind of smooth my taper out. And then I will hit this with another coat of nail polish. Alright, now I'm going to flip it over, pull everything kind of through here. We got a nice little buggy crustacean looking thing going here. And I'm going to come in with some rubber legs. What color do I want? I have all the colors. I've been liking these from Sightcast. These are like brown barred with nice orange tips. I'm just gonna X-wrap these in, catch them here, get them up on the top where I want them. I like to leave my legs long. I don't know, I'm just always thinking about what can I do to make this look different from the next guy's fly that, you know, they're used to seeing with the round rubber legs and short and stubby. So I like the long legs are also going to give it a little more surface area profile in the water, make it, in my opinion, a little more interesting maybe. And you can always trim them on the water. It's like getting a haircut, you know. If you tell the guy too short and he messes it up, you're toast. But if you start and say, oh, I just want a little off, you can always ask him to take more off. I'm just going to lay this over there, try to keep it out of the nail polish. Just catch it, bring it up to the top where I want it. That looks good. Go around. I'm just constantly kind of playing with these to straighten them out. And it really doesn't matter because we're going to glue these in and you can adjust them there too. If you wanted to, sometimes I'll make this last leg a different color. Come in and drop this one in. Like so. Right up close to the eyes. I'll grab it with my other part of my X-wrap here. This one needs a little love. Went in there a little funny. And it's sticking up here. Come here. Just gonna pull it to straighten it out. Alright, perfect. Then all I'm gonna do is throw a couple whip turns behind those yellow eyeballs. We're gonna glue this, so I'm not worried about doing multiple, and it's okay if you scratch a bunch of your paint off anyway. Here we're gonna hit all that again. Get in there and trim that off. Alright, there you got your base, your feathers, little buggy looking thing. Here it is from this side. Now, you can get your furry foam. We're going to cut out our little piece. The way I like to start this, you can make these any shape you want. Some dudes tie them really thin. Obviously, the thinner they are, theoretically, they're going to cast better. But so, I just cut out a little square furry foam. I'm going to kind of lay it there and measure it, so that's too long. So I'm going to take some of that off. I'm just going to start to shape it. If you have curved scissors, I can help you with some of these corners and edges and whatnot. Alright, kind of have something that looks like that. It's pretty tiny. Just gonna lay it in there. Okay, it looks like it's about a good size, and I'm just gonna peel the 2 layers of foam, furry foam apart here, trying not to rip it, which I ripped it. It's okay, the glue will hide all our errors. Yep. Alright, there, you can see it pulling apart here. Boom. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do, get a whole bunch of whatever you want to use. You can use Zap Goo. I like E6000. It's easy to find at the craft store. And I'm going to load this up pretty significantly. I do not want lack of glue to be a factor in this fly. I want it to scream out the edges. And this is a raghead, but it's also pretty much Doug McKnight's ER crab is pretty much the same thing. They're very similar. Alright, so we're going to lay the bottom chunk on here first. Kind of get it positioned how you want. Use your bodkin. You can see there's a little tear there. I'm going to flip it over, get all my legs, and now I'm going to put more glue on it. But I want to keep pushing this way just a bit. Alright, more glue. And I don't want to, or at least I don't like to you obviously need the glue to saturate through everything and hold it all together, but I don't want to make it so thin that it doesn't have a lot of 3D to it. So I put enough glue that where all I have to do is kind of squeeze it out the edges, and I don't have to see, I don't like when it comes over the eyes that much, so I'm going to push it forward just like that. Now just kind of take your fingers, your bodkin, whatever you want, and just marry it. I start from the middle and I just roll it out the sides. You should start seeing a bunch of glue spew out. Get in there with your fingers. Alright, now we're going to position our legs right where we want them. Drag them back. 1, 2, 3. Do the same on this side. Get everything right where I want them. I'll smash it down a little better. I didn't put enough glue on it. Now, there's a couple spots here where my bottom piece is a little sticking out. So I'm going to come in here, I'm just going to trim it off. You're not going to be able to see it, but alright, that's about it. You can touch it up with some marker, do whatever you want, but once that E6000 hardens, it'll be hard as a rock. I'm just pinching it in and getting it all matted down. But that's it, really. There it is. There's a little buggy. Trim those legs a little bit, not too much. Trim them like yay amount. Something like that. Easy peasy. It's like show them a whole box of cool crab patterns and that's the one they're gonna pick. So, alright guys, later.